Welcome to Dominican USA. My name is Mr. Kennedy. In my hand, I have the Monroe Doctrine. We're going to talk about this doctrine. We're going to talk about what's happening now in Venezuela, what's going to happen in Greenland, and what's going to happen in Cuba, and some other nations in the Western Hemisphere. Stay with us as we discuss this doctrine.
Mr. Kennedy presents Dominican USA.
Welcome back to Dominican USA. My name is Mr. Kennedy. We're coming live from the heart of Santo Domingo here in this beautiful rooftop studio. We're going to bring you geopolitics tonight. This is getting hot and heavy. Tonight, I want to talk about this book I have here in my hand. When I was in college, this was a required reading. Why is this book in my hand? Well, guess what? I moved down here about 8 months ago. And before I moved, I ordered this through Amazon. I ordered this book through Amazon because I wanted to make a segment, a program, based on the Monroe Doctrine. Now, I'm not going to give you a lecture. I'm not a history professor, but I did political science in university, and I was a history major, and I just love what I read here. How is the James Monroe Doctrine is to what's going on right now in the Western Hemisphere? Let me tell you the ways. But before I get into those ways, let's talk about the president, James Monroe. He was the United States president. He was the 5th president of the United States. He served from 1817 to 1825. Okay? In 1823, the British were getting antsy. They wanted to come back. So if you understand what the history was, you got to go back to 1812, the War of 1812, when the British wanted to come back to the colonies and recapture it for Britain. What happened? They burned the capital. They tried to take the country back, but the Americans, they were called Americans. They said no. They beat back the British back to England, and America was born. So we send the English back to England, and from then on, we were called Americans. Americans now, Americans forever. So why was Trump and his administration so aggressive trying to oust Nicolas Maduro and his wife? Was it for oil? Was it because they were transporting cocaine to the United States? As we know, a lot of the cocaine doesn't come from Venezuela, it comes from the border of Mexico and the United States. And oil, the oil is there, but does Venezuela really have 303 billion barrels of oil? No, my friends. No. If you read between the lines what's happening with the Western Hemisphere is that for a long period of time, for 30 to 40 years, America has neglected Latin America, which incorporates South, Central, and the Caribbean. We're all grouped into one, Latin America. So because of this neglect for 40 years, what has been happening with the Chinese government? They are encroaching upon Latin America. They are bringing resources to Latin America. They have negotiated with Latin America. They are building bridges. They're building hospitals. They're building roads. They're building everything. And also, they're lending a lot of money to Latin American countries. You think the British are coming? My friends, the Chinese are here. The Chinese are here, and they're doing this quietly. The Chinese, they don't make noise like we do. They do everything methodically and quietly. Is that a problem for America? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's a problem. And I'll tell you why the problem is. This is based on national security. This is based on national security. We have to secure our hemisphere. We have to ensure that we, the United States and Latin America, work together, because if we don't work together, they're going to go somewhere else like they have been. Now, what did Trump do when he got elected? He put Marco Rubio, Secretary of State. If his mouthpiece that's going to go around, he's going to go around Latin America, talk to these Latin American leaders in their language, and negotiate a deal with them. But we have to do our share. America has to be willing to work with Latin America because the Chinese are here. Not only the Chinese are here, but we got Russians that are selling arms to countries. They're arming Latin American countries. And why? Because their main objective is to destabilize the Western Hemisphere. Destabilize the Western Hemisphere through weapons, destabilize the Western Hemisphere through fentanyl, all sorts of drugs, synthetic drugs that are coming from China. And China knows that, we know that, and we need to stop that. So this becomes a clear and present danger. China has become a clear and present danger. I repeat that. So what can we do? What can we do? We have to be aware. We have to work together, because if we don't, we're going to lose Latin America. And if we lose Latin America, one of our biggest trading partners, our economy is going to go into a tailspin. It is going into a tailspin right now. So the Monroe Doctrine is important, because what James Monroe said to the British, we don't want European interference in the Western Hemisphere. He told them this in 1823. Hands off. This is why the James Monroe Doctrine is important. This is not a law, my friends. This is a doctrine. This wasn't passed by Congress. This is James Monroe, the President of the United States in 1823, telling the Europeans, get out and stay out. Now, times have changed. Now the Europeans are our closest allies. You know, we work with them. We need to work with the Europeans. They are our closest allies. Okay? So, geopolitics is something else. It changes as we go. It changes every day. But one thing is constant, that the Trump administration is bent on securing the Western Hemisphere. So if you think this is about oil, cocaine, drugs, no, it isn't. We have to secure our backyard. Again, I don't want to be repeating myself. We have to do a better job. We have to do a better job. We have to do a better job in working with Latin America. I'm over here in the Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic has a great relationship with America, and I'm so glad because of that. Their government and our government here, they work together, hand in hand. There's a lot of DEA agents here. I'm pretty sure the CIA is here. A lot of authorities are here working in conjunction with the Dominican authorities to put criminals behind bars, people that are willing to destabilize this country. That's important. So when you talk about protection and you say, well, Donald Trump, you're overstepping, you're overreaching, think about your safety. Because I'm going to tell you, when I go to sleep in the Dominican Republic, when I put my head down on that pillow, I'm almost certain that I'm not thinking about bombs coming overhead. I'm almost certain that I'm not thinking about anyone invading this country. And you know why? Because we sleep under the security blanket that America offers. And that's what I want to say. I'm not being a Yankist or someone that's promoting invasion. No, I'm not. I wish the Maduro thing could have been handled differently, but the shot was fired. The shot was fired. Countries are on the alert, and we need to work with them. We need to work together. You know, I understand what's happening. I hope you understand what's happening. The Western Hemisphere must be protected. We must join hands. We must protect our borders, our oceans, and we need to work together. That's the bottom line. So, I hope you enjoy this topic. I want you, if you have any comments on what I said, I want you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave your comments in the link. Leave your comments. I want to hear what you have to say because we all have our different opinions. We're entitled to our different opinions, but we're not entitled to our own facts. So stay with us. Stay tuned. We're going to bring you more exciting news. Thank you for being here with me. My name is Mr. Kennedy, and this is Dominican USA.